Deputy Speaker, I ask leave of the Federation Chamber to move notice number 9, private member's business, on behalf of the member for Moreton.
Is leave granted? Is leave granted?
No, it has to be him.
Yes, I hope.
I thank the member for Kennedy. The member for Fremantle.
I also thank the member for Kennedy. Deputy Speaker, I move the motion relating to the expulsion of Hugh Mahon from the House in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper. Deputy Speaker, there have only been 2 occasions in the 122-year history of the Australian Parliament where the government of the day has won a seat from the opposition at a by-election. It happened earlier this year when Labor's Mary Doyle won the seat of Aston after the resignation of Alan Tudge. It also happened 103 years ago when Hugh Mahon lost the seat of Kalgoorlie after he was effectively dismissed from Parliament through a disgraceful and anti-democratic process. Odd to observe that he was expelled on the 11th of November 1920, exactly 40 years to the day after Ned Kelly was hanged and 55 years to the day before the dismissal of Gough Whitlam. 2 Australian parliamentarians, in any case, Deputy Speaker, with Irish heritage, Mary Doyle and Hugh Mahon, 2 very different sets of circumstances. I'm not expressing a partisan view when I observe that one of those sets of circumstances could be described as fair enough, the recent by-election, and in keeping with Australia's electoral system, and one which occurred to poor old Hugh Mahon 103 years ago represented a great injustice. Hugh Mahon was dismissed as a representative through a partisan process according to a vote on party lines, when the Conservative government of the day took issue with Mr Mahon's views in relation to the question of Irish independence.
I'll just need...
Where I was thanking you.
Okay. I thank the member for Kennedy. We can resume.
As I was saying, Deputy Speaker, Hugh Mahon was dismissed as a representative through a partisan process according to a vote on party lines when the Conservative government of the day took issue with Mr Mahon's views in relation to the question of Irish independence. He'd given a speech at an event in Melbourne in which he expressed sympathy for the circumstances of people in Ireland who wanted to be free of British rule, and he supported calls for an Australian republic. At the public meeting, support was provided for 3 motions or propositions, and the last of which read that this meeting of Australian citizens, in view of the policy of oppression and tyranny pursued by the English government in Ireland, which has brought eternal disgrace upon the whole of the British Empire, of which Australia forms a part, pledges its support to any movement for the establishment of an Australian republic. Now, it was in the next parliamentary sitting week that Prime Minister Billy Hughes responded by moving a motion of his own which read that, in the opinion of this House, the honourable member for Kalgoorlie, the Honourable Hugh Mahon, having by seditious and disloyal utterances at a public meeting on Saturday last been guilty of conduct unfitting him to remain a member of this House and inconsistent with the oath of allegiance which he has taken as a member of this House, be expelled this House. The motion was voted upon, votes were cast on party lines, and Hugh Mahon, who was not even able to be present for the vote, was expelled. Deputy Speaker, it would seem absolutely extraordinary to Australians today to think that a member in this place would be expelled for noting and endorsing the aspirations of people elsewhere in terms of their self-determination, or that a person would be expelled for expressing support for the concept of an Australian republic. Of course, a recent PM, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, was himself not just a supporter of Australian Republic, he was, in 1991, a founding member of the Australian Republic movement. But as I said, Hugh Mahon, having been expelled, lost the subsequent by-election, and the injustice done to him has never been officially acknowledged. And the dangerous partisan expulsion that was inflicted on Hugh Mahon and effectively inflicted on the people of Kalgoorlie who had elected him was a harm that was never specifically cured. Thankfully, the process by which Hugh Mahon was so badly mistreated can no longer occur, so at least it has been cured as a general ill. I say dangerous, Deputy Speaker, because it should never be the case that the government of the day can expel properly elected members from this place simply because they choose to express opinions with which the government disagrees. That is profoundly anti-democratic. In truth, the expulsion of Hugh Mahon was a disgrace. The then leader of the Labor Party, Frank Tudor, said at the time, Parliament is not a proper tribunal to try a charge of sedition arising from the exercise of civilian rights of free speech at a public assembly of citizens. It's also a reminder that we should take great care with respecting all Australians and their rights, including parliamentary representatives, to hold and express views that may not suit the prevailing or ruling position, providing, of course, that we participate in debate without descending to incitement or threats or accusations or other kinds of speech that cannot be considered responsible.
Member for Kennedy.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
I thank the member for